Hi, so I was looking for the videos that I watch the most, and I mean like uh, 2-3 thousand times watched, and mostly it was for the things I did to my scooter, or previous scooter. Um, it was yeah, like changing the brake blocks or doing something to the air filter or whatever, or I changed the exhaust. Um, I already have a new scooter. Not gonna do anything about it because when I did it with my previous scooter, how do you call it? Not a crankcase, maybe crankcase. The cover that's over the transmission, like the Vario and the clutch. Those bolts around it, and the screw holes where they go in, they got looser and looser. Looser and looser. Not exactly right to say, but how do you say it? They lost grip. They got wider and wider. So I'm thinking what I can say the best. Well, I got the Vario and the NYC. Do I say that correct? Speed Control 2 was it, the type, and I put that in. There was a different V snare in it, V belt and drive belt, but it was not like the original. The original was a little bit longer, and sometimes I took a really cheap one and then a little bit more expensive. The original is about 44 euros, and the cheap one was like I don't know if it was 10 or 20 euros, don't know anymore. And few of them broke. 2 or maybe even 3. The last one that broke, apparently the stand-ups. You got if you take the Vario and you make put the backside, take the backside of it, and you take the part where the rollers are in. You got the stand-ups that take care of that. That is like the holders for the plate that goes in and cannot wiggle around. There are little plastic things that go in the plate, so it's glides smooth. Well, those standoffs apparently by they were wore off and some broke off, and I didn't know it because I thought, well, I don't want to check it again because also the packing. I don't know what the Dutch word packing in English is. There was a rubber thing that was you got a cover in the housing itself, and there was a rubber thing, and when you place the cover back, it was hard to keep that rubber thing in place. So I didn't want to always open and close it, so the snare, the V-belt and the snare and V-belt is the same, but that one and the Vario was too long in it, and I could also the speed control, the Vario, uh, the store that sold it quit selling. It stopped. So I had no more Sport Vario. The Sport Vario took care of had it run on lower RPM, but you can change it with shims of how what kind of like the gear was. So well, couldn't renew Vario because of the wearing of the Vario. So the aluminium of the Vario got wore off. Sorry. So I couldn't change it, couldn't do anything about it. So I let it happen. And whoops, not good lighting. So I stopped fixing it myself, and well, after a while I knew I had to do something about it, and at a moment, on my way to work, the snare broke. Apparently the clutch was died. The Vario died, or actually it was already dying. It all got wore off. So that was the moment that I had to buy a new scooter, and this one I don't wanna do something about myself. I do what? No, that's not correct. I do wanna do something. You got the acceleration pump on the carb, and I wanna disable it. But with this scooter I cannot reach it that easy, so I need to take the whole body seat out. The normally where you put the helmet in, but you can't put a helmet in there. I do not actually like the scooter I have. A few things that I don't like. I like my previous scooter, and I don't like to ride cars. Most guys do like it, I don't. But I need to take the whole basket out to come to that acceleration pump, and it will, every time you move the gas handle, you pump a little bit extra fuel in the carb. There's no need for that. They say it's when you start a scooter in the winter, so you can pump a little gas in it and then it starts better. But you use it all the time. It's like you got a spray bottle, and every time little you do that, then you spray a little. Little or much, you do spray, and that's exactly what happens there. Every time you hit the gas, it pumps. Little or much, it pumps. So a lot of extra gas goes in. When it's out, disconnected, disabled, you only need to adjust the air screw a little, so it does do better, because the acceleration of this scooter is really bad. I know how to adjust it, and soon I need to do it needs to have a service. So after that, I think I'm gonna wrench it open and disable the pump, because I don't like it. I understand that this type of scooter usually runs 30 kilometers on 1 liter. Mine does in the winter about 35 kilometers on a liter, and in the summer, like now, it's about 38 kilometers on a liter. And I think that it will run 40 kilometers on a liter when it's disconnected, and the air screw were better, because when the air screw is adjusted right, it should accelerate just a little bit better, and well, use just a bit less gas. Not much, but everything else. But I do not totally like my scooter. I got a don't know the name for it, but the case on the back of the scooter for my helmet. There's not enough space in there. Where you normally put your helmet, there is. You cannot also not so an open helmet, but you get no chin part. And then I got my glove compartment, which is basically nothing. So the fuel tank is just a little smaller than my previous, and top speed to cry for. Previous scooter with the Vario ring out, it was 67 kilometers on the speedometer, and original was then 5 kilometers less. This one, it shows 58, but it is actually 48 kilometers per hour. So 10 kilometers too fast, it shows, but it's not fast at all. And after the service, I think it will go to 52 kilometers, I think, actual kilometers. So I don't like it, but well, with that speed you will not get caught. I haven't had I haven't seen police control in a long time, but if I will have it, there will be no problem, as far as I know. But I will, except for that, for trying to disconnect that pump. Besides that, I will not do anything for it. So about it. So no videos for that. So the videos that helped me on YouTube, no more. So maybe I gotta figure out what makes you wanna watch things. What I gotta do. Don't know. Gotta figure it out. Bye.